shot easy. Bars per shotgun, pistol grip action. Feed a motherfucker more pellets than Batman. Undercover trying to listen in like rap fans. Two-step till you get your proof, yep, tap dance. We don't discriminate, just eliminate. Relocate bodies where it's hard to assimilate. Water be coughing so you can get all the help you want. As soon as you learn to speak up.
29th take to get this episode started.
I'm sorry.
17 outfits. I've never had any of these issues with any other guests.
That's because they don't have
but because you got the juice, you know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
I'm gonna let this slide.
What's up, everybody? I want to let everybody know that I'm responsible for all this.
All right, let me introduce. Episode Curious Red Flag, episode 27. My lovely wife, Carmen Barton Carthan.
Hey. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Why did it take you so long to get ready?
Because the wings wasn't. Other outfit I had on was bad, but the wings.
You wanted to come in here like butterfly in the sky, right? Right?
Yeah.
But I'm letting you know right now. This gonna be it.
You just tie this in the back.
I'm not tying nothing because I don't like anything. I don't like anything to be tied. If I tie that, I might commit a crime.
Just tie this in the back.
Episode 27, Curious Red Flags podcast. Babe, how you feeling?
Babe, I feel amazing. Can you just get this?
Babe, just go ahead and speak. Just speak.
I'm speaking. I feel
how
amazing.
You feeling? How
hey,
you feeling?
Everybody, can you tie this?
Why you feel amazing?
Can you get this tied?
Why do you feel amazing?
I feel amazing.
Why?
I don't want to be too exploitive on your podcast.
No, you can go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I just feel good today.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you why she feel amazing. Bills are being paid.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Okay? Swords are being laid.
Woo.
All right? Understand?
It really feels good to have someone paying all my bills. Feels amazing. Thanks, babe. But I do go back to work tomorrow. I haven't worked in a while.
No, I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying I'm paying bills. I didn't.
You're definitely paying
bills.
Bills.
Stop playing with that, please.
I'm trying to tie it.
You're like a child. You're like a child. Stop playing with that. Oh, okay. So, babe, tell the people how you stalked me.
If you don't get out of here.
Well, no, tell the people. I'm tired of
how we met.
Tell the people. No,
Listen, don't make me post the screenshot.
Tell the people how you stalked me because
he was in my DM for like a year. Just hey, you need any help with anything? You know how they do, ladies. And I was like, ew, creep. And
my supporters know I don't talk like that. Okay.
What?
I don't. Hey,
I got the receipts.
That's not my supporters know the real.
I can put the messages, and I had a whole boyfriend, and he didn't give a damn. Tell him about how.
Wasn't strong enough.
Whatever.
You understand what I'm saying? Let me tell you what happened. I hit her up, right? I hit her up and I said, "Hey, congratulations," because that's what comics do. I said, I hit her up and I said, "I see you working hard out here. Keep doing your thing."
First, he asked
after that, it was like, "Oh my God, is that Photoshop on your abs? And how you doing? How can a pretty lady like me get around a man like you?" And after a while, you. And after a while, I was like,
"Where's my phone?"
I was like, look, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? You look beautiful.
Let me tell y'all how I ended up letting him train me. My friend Naeem hit me up, and he was like, my boy is interested. And I was like, ew. And he was like, well, just let him train you. He'll train you for free. So I feel sorry for him, ladies. You know how it is. I was like, oh, poor thing. Let me help. So I signed up to train, and I canceled for like 2 months straight. I was paying him to leave me alone. I'm like, here's the money. I can't make it. So finally, we had our first training session, and
you know what the energy feels like?
What?
The energy spells lie.
What? This is how it happened.
Okay.
And so I was telling him about my boyfriend, because I was in a long distance relationship, and I was telling him about, I can't train because I got to fly out to go see my man. He was like, what, your man don't live here in L.A.? And I'm like, no, he doesn't. And, so I was telling him about my dude and how we was going through it. And he was all like, I can help. I can, let's just be friends.
Look. Let's not fool the people.
He came to my house and started moving furniture. He was like, yeah, he was a handyman.
She came to a session. It is true. Our friend Naeem did hook us up through a personal training session. When she came to the session, after I trained, I put her body on that mat and gave her the Nick Carthan stretch. she was like this. Oh my God! Like, and she had the same braid. Oh my God! Are you hungry?
Let me tell you
I said, no, wait. She said, are you hungry? I said, as a matter of fact, I am.
I didn't even start wearing braids until we started dating because he didn't like weave. I had a weave. And
but
you
tell
him about how you came over here and helped me take my sewing and weave out. Tell him about that. Remember that?
That's after years.
No, it was not after years. He came over here.
I didn't take no. How long?
He was like, I can help you. I was like, I'm trying to take this weave. He was like, I can help you. Granted, he cut my whole hair. He cut a whole piece of braid off.
Let me tell you something.
No, he came. So you didn't come over here and help me take my weave out.
How long did it take till I did that?
That was like the first week. You was taking my weave out. And let me tell y'all something. My shit had not been shampooed for like 2 weeks, and I know it was stinking. He didn't give a damn.
You come from a family of reverends.
Yes.
And priests, and you gonna come up here and lie like that? I took your hair out the first week.
It was like the first couple of weeks
after the first year.
No,
after the first. Let's tell you what you. Let me tell you exactly what they know. It's okay because you're the wife. Let me tell you exactly what she was doing when we first started dating. Right now, let me tell you what she was doing. Okay, I woke up. Every morning I woke up, there was fruit on the side of the bed, grapes, grapefruit, slices of fruit. Right?
I did.
And this is what she told me in the beginning, right? Fellas, red flag. I'm gonna know this right now. I'm gonna tell you how she got me. In the beginning, she was like, "Oh, we just having fun. We just messing around."
Because I had a boyfriend.
No.
I had a boyfriend.
I'm gonna get to that. After a few months of Mr. Nick, out of nowhere, she goes, "You know what? I think we go together." And I was like, okay, well, that's what happened. I think we go together. Ladies, fellas, you know how it is. You know, when you doing something good, we hard to come by. A good man is hard to come by. Just like a good woman. But she said...
After I did the birthday for your baby.
Okay.
Had a daughter, and he was...
I have a daughter.
Well, when I was dating him, he had a child. He had a daughter, and so I'm dating this guy, and so her birthday was coming up. And I'm like, you ain't gonna do nothing for your baby birthday? He was like, oh, I will. I'm like, let me help you put together a party, because, I got a gang of kids, and I done, tens of hundreds of birthday parties, and so I did the birthday party. Because everything, I feel so bad for him, single dad, out here struggling with this little girl, so I'm like, let me help. So I did the birthday party, and
took the birthday party over.
I did, because I love to do birthday parties.
Took the party over.
I did.
Got us kicked out of Chuck E. Cheese.
We did get kicked out.
Got us kicked out of Chuck E. doing too much. There's a line where you put the tickets inside the machine. She gonna go argue with the rat. Nobody argue with the rat.
And all these kids with her hair is next. And then we had a Soul Train line, and they was all like Chuck E. Cheese policy. They don't allow Soul Train lines, but the party was lit. I'll tell you that.
Clearly from the first 8 minutes, everybody knows we're crazy. Let's get into the wedding now.
The wedding? How do we jump?
Let me just get to the wedding. Because everybody,
can we do the proposal?
Because I got you.
Yeah, he asked my daddy for my hand in marriage. Even though I'm whole grown, he
red flag.
No, you give me the red flag because he came to my father. And he was all like, Mr. Barton. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to lie again.
But
there's a reason.
He asked my father for my hand.
There's a method to the madness. Let's get to it. Okay. They held the proposal. Let's get to the most important part. What happened was we had a date set, right? We had a date set at a wedding chapel. COVID-19 hit.
But right? I don't want to scoot all the way to the wedding. Let's talk about how we bonded with our daughters. Let me tell y'all, my daughter, red flag. My daughter got shot, right? That's how I raised them. Bang, bang, pow, pow.
We don't care about that. Let's get to COVID-19.
Can I tell them about
No.
And you taught her how to...
That's how you got to deal with that. That's how a man gets... When you got your lady and she talking too much, you see how I put the quick pinch. Let's get to what I want to get to real quick. COVID-19 hit, and the wedding chapel we were supposed to get married at wasn't going down.
Wait, we're skipping
and you went ahead and didn't let that stop you, and you became Tim the two. You know what I'm talking about from Home Improvement, and you built. What was going through your head when you were putting the wedding together and you were building the wedding.
But what about our journey?
Answer the question.
No,
we'll get to the. We went
from the first date to the wedding.
We'll get to the.
Stop.
We'll get to
Red flag.
Get to the. Go ahead and tell the people.
COVID, we had our date planned. We wanted to get married on September 20th because the date was very important to us. It was actually 1 year after the proposal. He proposed on September 20th, 2019. And they was talking, when COVID first hit in March, they was all like, well, you'll be fine because your wedding ain't till September. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, April, May, June, July, August, and everything was still shut down. And it was like, we have to cancel you guys' wedding. So I'm like, well, I don't want to cancel my wedding. I don't want to move it. I don't want to do all that because I need these tax breaks. I need to get.
She don't want to let a good man sit on the shelf.
I needed to do this in 2020 so I could, because I'm trying to put them on my taxes. So I was like, we got to do it this year. So we decided to do it at a Malibu mansion, and the decor, I just needed everything to be perfect, and so I started. While he said home improvement, I started making the decor. Y'all can look at the pictures if y'all want to. Everything is on my page, carmencomedy@gmail. Oh, that's my email. Carmen Comedy. She doesn't know my Instagram.
All her information will be at the end of the video. Go on with the story.
I'm just trying to see if y'all want to see the decorations.
The Curious Red Flag people are very supportive. They will go to your page and see the pictures.
Hey. So anyway, the wedding was bomb. Like, I don't know why you wanted to jump to this. The wedding was bomb.
So talk about the process of building the wedding together. So tell the people how you built the wedding from scratch to the top.
I built the wedding from scratch. Every week, because I wasn't working, my husband, I go to him and I'd be like, hey, I need $1,000. And he'd be like, for what? I'd be like, this is the last time. And then we were going to have the wedding catered by Maggiano's because they have a big selection of vegetarian and vegan food because my father is vegetarian. And I decided I didn't want them. And so I was like, okay, I need $3,000 more because we want to do the, what do you call the food that we had at the wedding?
Well, we had Benihana style food.
We had a, the chef come with the little Benihana thing, and so that was a little bit more because we had to have lobster and all of that.
I'm allergic to shell food.
Too much, but this is my wedding. I'm not. I love shell food, shrimp, lobster. I had you steak and chicken.
She's very right. This was her wedding because when we were getting prepared for the wedding, they left me in a room dressed in my tux 2 hours early. 2 hours early. Everybody. They said as soon as I got there, you gotta get dressed. And I was in a tux for 2 hours, hot ass, glittery tux for 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. Now, the next question I want to ask you is that I have a daughter. You have 2 sons and a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Big age gap. Mm-hmm. What was your initial feeling when we first started dating? This is something I don't know. I'm asking her on the show. This is exclusive.
Why don't you know?
What
was my feeling?
Red flag. This is why you don't bring your wife to work. Exactly. Don't mess with that. This is exactly why you don't bring your wife to work. Because she's just touching things. Just like a child. When you started dating me and you saw, what are you doing?
I'm moving that because I don't want all that blood behind me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
See how you gotta take a deep breath?
Okay.
So, what was your initial feeling coming into dating me and me having a 5-year-old daughter? She was 3 years old. Were you nervous? What was how did you feel like when you met her?
I mean, I wasn't nervous. So a little bit of backstory. When he first started training me, on the day that I would train, he would have his daughter, and so he'd always be like, "Oh, I can't do it. I got my daughter," and I'd be like, "No, nigga, I gave you my money. You about to train me?" So I'd be like, "Just bring her." So he would bring her, and I would you sit her with the iPad. She was very well behaved. Sit her with the iPad, and we trained. And I'm like, let me comb her hair because her hair ain't been combed. And I'm like, oh, she'll have on an outfit that I wouldn't like. I'd be like, why you got her, what's up with the stripes and polka dots? So, I'd be like, let me show you how to, accessorize and get her the stuff together. And so, I really just saw a struggling single dad. And so I really wanted to help. And the bond that you had with your daughter, mm-hmm. It really reminded me of the bond that I have with my father, because I'm a daddy's girl.
Great man.
Yes. And so I'm a daddy's girl, so that when I would see them, it would just make me think about, me and my father. And, he was just such a good dad.
Great. Let me tell you why he's a great man. When I asked him for his daughter's hand in marriage, he was like, you sure? And he was like, "Hey, great man." And one of the things you kept telling me was, you said, "I did remind you of your daddy."
Yeah, like, let me tell you something. I know it's some ladies out here watching. So you all have all heard, a woman, typically marries someone that reminds her of her father. And I never believed that, because most of the guys that I was into, coming up in my young adult years, they was like killer, thug, dope dealer, whores, and my father is nothing like any of that. So I was thought that that's not true, because I'm not attracted to them. But once I did reach a level of maturity, I did see so many qualities in you that I saw in my father, and so many of his characteristics, and so many things about him that, you reminded me so much of my father. And so that was one of the things that kind of like, trickled my heart and had me like, oh, let me get him some.
I will say this, you and I, coming into a relationship with you, I met your daughter and your oldest son. Mm-hmm. I hadn't met your middle son yet. And I met your daughter and your oldest son. When I met your oldest son, we definitely hit it off. Me and him was the hell of a musical producer, could rap his ass off. That's Cameron Barton. Shout out to Cameron. He actually did the music for my other shows and helped me out a whole lot. Musical genius. But your daughter is who I really grew a great bond with.
Right.
Did you expect that when it happened?
I really didn't, and that was just another.
You was giving me all her book bags, and she was mad. Remember? You were like, "Oh, that's how she." Let me tell you something. There's an age difference that she said. So I don't know, for some reason she felt like I was a trainer giving me like sports gifts was gonna. She was like, "Oh, you want this book bag? You want that?" And then when her daughter came back to LA. She was basically like, "Nigga, give me all my shit. Give me my bag. Give me my."
Let me go back. So basically, with helping him with his daughter, I developed a bond with his daughter. So we developed a really good bond, and she called me best friend. She's always called me best friend. I met her, and then I didn't see her for about a month. And when I saw her a month afterwards, she was like, "Oh, I don't remember your name, but I know you're my best friend. I remember you. You're my best friend." And it just kind of stuck. So, to this day, she calls me her best friend. No matter what we try to teach her to call me, she just calls me best friend. So we had a really, really, really good bond. Okay. So we had a really good bond. And then my daughter, initially she was living in St. Louis when I first started talking to him. And then she moved to Los Angeles.
Real quick, are we going to make love after this episode?
Anthony.
Okay.
Let me get through my story. Why you gonna bring up making love? I'm talking about my daughter. That's.
What? Grown. I'm telling you.
Anyway, my daughter got shot, and she ended up having to come back to LA, and he helped me rehab her. Now, when she came back to LA, we was dealing with so much, of what happened, what was the incident that happened, and she was just really going through a rough time, and she was having some issues with her sexuality, and I just wasn't the person to talk to clearly about her issues with her sexuality. And so as Nick was training her and rehabbing her and teaching her how to swim and building her strength back up, they developed a bond where she felt much more comfortable talking to him about to this day, I don't know how she got shot, but he knows the whole story. I don't know nothing. To this day, she tells him, opens up to him and talks to him and tells him things that she doesn't even tell me. So when they developed a bond similar to the bond that I had with his daughter, that's when I really kind of knew that it was meant to be.
Well, let me tell you how we knew it was meant to be. Because coming ahead to the wedding, there was a couple of pit stops. And one of the ones I remember was us going to get our license. To go get our wedding license.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about driver's license. I'm finna say, I've been had my license.
No, we talk about the wedding license.
Oh my goodness, that's a good story. Let's tell the story.
You know, we were cursing each other out. We were at each other's necks.
Because we stopped at Chick-fil-A and he wasn't feeding me my food.
She stopped at Chick-fil-A. She wanted to stop at Chick-fil-A. And when we got there, we were at each other. And one of the situations was I brought my daughter. And because of COVID, you couldn't, we weren't allowed to bring extra people.
And we waited for this appointment at the marriage license for like a month. It took us a month to get in. And in the meantime, they had closed the appointments because they had stopped the phase 1 or whatever where they opened the appointment. So you couldn't even get another appointment. So when we get there for our appointment, and this is the only opportunity for us to get our marriage license before the wedding, they were like, oh, well, you can't bring any other people besides the 2 people that's getting married. And then we had Chrisette. And so we was like, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? Because if we don't get it today, we gonna have to fake everything because
that's not that I'm letting you know right now.
We just gonna fake everything.
The energy was on because we were like, I was like this. All right, I'm gonna exact words. I was like, see, I told you we were supposed to bring her. Now we brought her,
like,
and we might not get it done. And she's like, well, if we don't get done, it don't get done. And for some reason, I don't know what they said. You know what?
The man came back.
We'll make it a section.
We're gonna allow you to have it.
And there, I said, she's earned that thing.
Why you trying to keep turning everything to sex? Let me tell you about the first time that you tried to get something.
Wait. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that because
tell everybody what happened.
We don't. Everybody knows I laid the hammer down. That's what.
What? No, you didn't. That's not what happened at all.
We don't need.
He had a nervous breakdown. And
no. All right, so let me. Since you want to go there,
okay, we don't have to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to know.
Of course, they don't want to know.
They don't want to know.
I know they don't want to know. I know. Red flag. You see that?
No.
When the truth come out, you
things
say the
have to
subject.
be positive. You don't hear Beyonce talking about how she got her back blew out, do you? You don't hear Jay-Z talking about what he did, do you? We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna rise.
They do. If you listen to the album, they talk about. They talk about.
They don't. Beyonce talking about somebody else.
We're gonna make sweet tea. They made lemonade. We about to make sweet tea. All right. So you're okay now. Let's talk
about how I taught you how to drive.
Wait, woman. Let's state the obvious.
You're just trying to run
you gotta
my
control.
Show, like.
What's wrong with her? Let's state the obvious. From St. Louis, while I'm wearing the hoodie. Hilarious.
Understand the reason why I want to try to make
like a kid, like a child. You see what I'm saying? Just touching stuff. Hilarious comedian from St. Louis. Right, moved to California, mother of 3. I want you to explain just that journey.
Oh, it was a very difficult journey. So I started doing comedy, and I worked at this comedy spot called Two St. Louis Brothers, and I was the Wednesday night host of the pre-show. So this was like the hottest comedy night in St. Louis. So all the big comedians would come through, and everybody would always tell me that I was special. And it's, and that, wow, you only been doing comedy for a short time. You funny. You got to get the fuck out of St. Louis if you want to make something. So I talked to my dad and I decided to give it a shot. He was like, you're never going to be happy unless you really try. So it's worth a shot. So I came to LA and, I left my kids in St. Louis, and my dad was like, I'll hold things down until you're ready for them. And so I came to LA, and I still had my house and everything in St. Louis, and I would travel back and forth, to kick it with my kids. They would come to LA for the summers, and I just came out here and I grinded. I'm not really a people person, so I didn't have like a lot of relationships with people in Los Angeles. But I grinded, and I started working on the road with comedians, and I became a road comic. And so eventually I got my children out here, and we were able to make it work. So I've been here for a long time. So it was a success story. But in the beginning, it was really hard for me because I had never lived alone. I had my children when I was young. I had my oldest son when I was 19 years old. And so I left, I brought him home to my father's house. And so, me and my son got us an apartment, and, I had other kids and I would be in relationships. So I had never in my life lived alone. So I never knew that feeling to like get a place and no one lived with me. So initially it was really lonely. I got me an apartment in the jungle and I stayed.
Explain to them what the jungles are.
They know what the jungle. Y'all know Training Day. Where his baby mama lived. That's where the jungle was.
I like my ladies to be living.
So, I got an apartment out there in the jungle, living by myself, and it was rough for me. But eventually, I adjusted, and like I said, I would fly to go see my kids, and they would come and be with me, and I just kind of made it work, and I was able to make moves in my comedy career. So it's kind of all paid off for me.
I want to take the time, and I want you to give me a minute, because I feel like, some of the things that I learned about in relationships is sometimes we don't take the time to appreciate our partners. So what I want to say to you is, my baby, is, I was going through a rough patch of my life, and you've been nothing but super supportive of my dreams. So let me explain to you guys what I mean. Although a pain in the ass, it's this pain in the ass that pushed me to get my driver's license. Not only did she push me to get my driver's license, but everything that you guys do see, that's why I was cutting her off in the beginning, because I'm trying to do something. Everything that you guys see, this wallpaper, all of this that you guys see, right? She stole. Now, wait. So it's a story. We went to go, wait, it don't matter. But she wouldn't let me put it up. She had a tool belt on. She put this wall together. She's helped me time and time with my daughter because I helped my daughter with her homework, and she got an assignment back that the teacher was like, she might need to repeat. And I was like, I had to be honest, like I was the one who did it. So I don't do the homework no more. And from there, from my child to being more of a connection with me and my parents, me and my parents are tight, but just more speaking to them, my driver's license, and the big turn of a push that I needed in my career for support. I appreciate you so much, baby. Because without the strength of you, none of this would have actually been possible. I know I might, a lot of times you guys watch the Curious Red Flags podcast, and this is episode 27. Yes, a lot of this is my ambition, my dream, a lot of the love, but understand that every good man needs a great battery in their back. And the reason why I brought her on this show is because a lot of you guys get in my DM and be like, well, what's pushing you to do this podcast? Or what is your ambition or whatever? Yes, big part of it is my daughter. But the piece that the architect of making this stuff work is my lovely wife here. She wet right now. Right now.
So let me just interject.
Wait. Don't finish the energy.
How you gonna have a guest and won't let the guest talk? Damn.
I'll let you talk, but okay.
So I want to just talk about this wallpaper because I did steal this wallpaper. I will admit.
Tell her how you stole the wallpaper.
Okay, so this is what happened. It wasn't my fault. So what happened was, we call ourselves measuring, and we get the wallpaper, and we get one panel up, and we realize that we don't have enough wallpaper, but the Target that's by our house doesn't have any more. So I think that we were rushing to try to get this put up before you did a show or something. And so we drove all the way out far to a Target that's super far that had the wallpaper. So we get to the Target and we get in, and he was like, I don't have my wallet. And I was like, what? And I didn't have my purse because, mind you, I got my Home Depot gear on. So, I got my tools and my little thing to get the thing. So, I just grabbed my keys and left, figuring he had his wallet. Because he'd be paying for everything anyway. So, I'm like, we good. So, we get all the way out here, and he don't have a wallet. So I was like, I ain't finna go all the way back home and get the water. Didn't come all the way back out here. So I was like, go get the car. So I don't think I need to say what happened after that.
No, all I see is, and mind you, I don't have my license at this time yet. So I'm going to the car. All I see is, oh my God, you ain't got the car. Rolls sticking out of her, like just running down. This over here,
God forgive me.
Robin Hood.
It wasn't about the money. It was about the time. And before I did comedy, let me tell y'all something. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a hustler. I used to boost. That was my trade.
Professional thief.
When my kids was little, it all started out me trying to get my boys. I had 2 boys, and I wanted to get them this little Nautica outfit, and the price wasn't right, so I had to put it in my bag. Then when I got home, it was the wrong size. I'm like, I could sell this and get the money and get the right size. And so I sold the wrong size. Then they was like, well, you got any more the next week? And I'm like, no, but I could probably go get some more. And so I became a booster. But that was my life before. I'm reformed. You know, I've been forgiven.
I don't want to change. This certain video games and outfits that I need. You need to get back out there and support your man.
I don't do that no more. I have too much to lose.
The original. If you ever saw Roxanne, the documentary, the movie on Netflix, Roxanne.
That was me, baby.
That's Roxanne.
I should. God has seen them quick hands. So, and then as far as, you know, I just wanted to tap in. So, I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in a couple of months. Come on, Black, don't crack.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of dating experience. I have 3 children, and from 2 different fathers, and I've been in a lot of relationships. I've dated all different types of men. When I say that, I mean rich guys, ballers, you know, dudes that I just thought was cute, you know, wanted to make it work with the men I was in relationships with and had children by. And so I mentioned earlier that I had a boyfriend when I first was training with Nick, and I think that it's important that people remember that money does not buy happiness. And when I met him, it did not matter to me that he wasn't a baller.
You basically telling the people that I was broke.
I'm not saying that you was broke. I'm just saying that you weren't rich. So I'm saying that you had potential. We had so many things in common, and you can teach a man how to hustle. You can teach a man how to, you know, flip merchandise, and, you know, you can teach a man a lot of different things, but you cannot teach a man how to love. You cannot teach a man family values that have been instilled in him from his father to his father's father and his mother's father. He comes from a very respectable family, God-fearing family. His parents have been married for 40 years. His, you know, grandparents were together. So, you know, these are things that you cannot build an honest, God-fearing man no matter what you do, you know. So that mattered to me more than some of the more materialistic things. And in the beginning, it was the cutest thing ever that he couldn't drive. I'm like, oh, you ain't got no license? Oh, that's so cute. You can't drive like at all. And so when we would go on dates, he would, you know, get lifts, and we would, you know, get a car. We were riding in the back of the car, and that shit was fun. We in the car on the way on our date doing freaky shit. I'm like, ow. But after a while, I'm all like, so you ain't gonna try to take the class or nothing, like. So I encouraged him. I told him, if you don't get your license, this ain't gonna work, because I'm not about to be driving you around for the rest of my life.
She said to me, she's like, I need you to get your license, because I will leave, but that hook. She's like, that is real. And I said, well, all right. We'll see what we can do. No, that's not what, but no, and it wasn't I'm about to leave, but what it was that seeing her do so much, the least I could do was go ahead and conquer my fear. Because a lot of people, they say, oh, you don't have a license. It wasn't that I didn't want to get a license. It wasn't that it was a New York thing. I was in 2 accidents learning how to drive, and I wasn't in the driver's seat. So
he ultimately had a fear of driving.
I had a fear.
So we went to church and we prayed there. We went to the altar. I took him to the altar. I'm like, come on, let me take you to my church.
Her pastor at her church, let me just say this, right? She took me to her church. We went to this big church festival where all the churches met up. And her pastor bombed.
No, he didn't. You're not going to come from my pastor.
This first pastor went on. Let me tell you something. This first pastor that went on, right? He was up there like, what's up now? And I feel alive. He had everybody killing, right? I'm like, oh, man. Wait till our pastor get up. Our pastor get up there. He go there, what's up, y'all? And he had that, like, I'm about to kill face. Like, what's up, y'all?
First of all, you're not going to come from my pastor.
He go, look, what's going on, y'all?
My pastor
He said, he go like this. Look, he said, God is amazing. And he just start talking, right? Everybody just like this.
First of all, my pastor can preach.
And this is how he got the look. This is how like comedians try to get the extra laughs by saying, like, where the Virgos at? That's what he did. Praise God, right? Praise God.
First of all,
where's my church at?
You know what? You're not gonna sit here and come for my pastor and disrespect my pastor. Okay.
No,
we went to this program and it was one of the a bunch of different preachers. My pastor was not one of the preachers, so he wasn't supposed to be.
He invited us. Bomb it.
He did not bomb.
He bombed. But the great thing about him is what him and his church did for my daughter was amazing. It made my daughter want to go there every Sunday. Every Sunday, my daughter wanted to go there.
We were very involved in the church, and she loved church. And so I took him, and it wasn't like I introduced him to God. He was already, God fearing into God. He already knew God, but I don't think that he ever went before the altar and put his fears up on the altar. And y'all know I'm a comedian. I curse. I'm loud. I do a lot of crazy, disrespectful stuff. But I have a very strong relationship and a very strong faith with God. My mother is a pastor, and I grew up in the church. And I believe that if you have a fear, something that you're struggling with, I believe if you lay it on the altar before God, he can make a change in your life. So he took his fears up on the altar and he put them before God, and they prayed for him. They laid hands on him, and he went back out there and he learned to drive, and he be driving better than me now. He's slow as hell. You're going to have to go around his ass, but he be whipping that. Got him a car. Listen. I'm just so proud of the major accomplishments that he has made in his life. And, if he had a license when he was coming up, we probably wouldn't even be together because he would have been a hoe. It's something like driving to the booty. He was never able to drive. You probably would have 8, 9 kids by now, right? If you could drive to the booty back in the day.
I really never needed a license. I was getting it done. You understand what I'm saying? And it's nothing to be proud of, but I'm just saying, like, as you guys can see on the camera, and she knows she's a beautiful woman, but she's with a sexy guy. You know what I'm saying? And
you got some right over here. I wish you get your face cleared up. But
because that's because when you keep scratching me when we have playtime. So tell the story. Well, I'll tell the story. Let me tell you something. I don't care if it's in the house of God. I don't care where it's at. When I'm hungry and I want to go, I'm going to make sure we got to go. So we in this special church function,
Lord,
right?
this was another...
Wait, let me take you.
This was so embarrassing.
She had a car parked deep in the parking lot. Why?
It was the overflow lot. Where my church people at? The church people, they know about the overflow lot. They got the regular church parking lot, then they have the overflow lot that they open up.
That they illegally opened up to put cars in.
So for some reason at this church that we was at downtown, we was in West LA, they didn't have the key to get the overflow lot, and it wasn't everybody driving around parking, because this particular service, who was there? It was a big preacher. That sang,
never would have made it.
The guy that sang Never Would Have Made It. What was his name?
Marvin Sapp.
Yeah, Marvin Sapp was at this service. And so everybody was coming from far and wide to see him. So they got the little, little wrench thing, and they broke the chain on the overflow lot.
So let's stop right there.
Okay.
This was not their lot.
Okay, but they let the church don't come.
So the God had nothing to do. That's why this lot was overflowed, because they illegally opened this lot. Listen, long story short, after our pastor bombed,
wait a minute,
I was hungry and I wanted to go.
Our pastor did not bomb,
and I said, "Let's go outside." So I grabbed her hand and said, "Babe, it's time to go."
We was blocked in by 6 cars.
We get in there. No, it was tons of cars. We get out there, and I'm like, "How are we gonna leave?" So I asked the people in the lot. I'm like, "Look, man. We got to go." And he was like, "Well, we got 3 more hours of service. I don't know what to tell you."
Marvin Sapp hadn't even got up there yet.
She gonna talk about, "Well, let's go walk around the neighborhood. This dangerous behind ass neighborhood." Red flag. right?
I wanted to go back into the service. He told me, no, we need to leave. So I'm like, let me go back into the church.
God spoke to me because he knew he was in a legal lot. I went in there and I spoke to the people. I said, listen, I got to go.
He lied to the people and told the people that we had an emergency and that we had to leave. So the people that was manning the parking lot, they in the church tapping everybody on their shoulder. Anybody got a red?
And I'm at the end of the aisle like this. I'm at the end of the aisle like this.
He bullied the church into making the people move their cars so we can get out.
And it was a dark day. As soon as we got our car, God opened the cloud and the sun hit. Oh, happy day. And we got on out of there. Day. And but that was on New Year's. That was actually
on New Year's service.
We went to church for New Year's service. So just saying this all in a wrap. I'm so glad that because my wife is busy. She is busy. And believe it or not, she is busy. So to get her on this show, you know, I try my best. She is my wife, but I also want to treat her as a talent. She is a very hard talent to get a hold of. So I appreciate the fact. Put it down. Put it down, please. I appreciate the fact that she took the time out of her day to go through 19 outfits. Even though I said at the beginning it was 19 outfits, the fact that you wanted to, you took the time and, you know, because I didn't think we was going to get this done. And she got home. She went through 19 outfits, and this I believe this is it's going to be one of the great episodes in the Curious Red Flag books. For me, I could not have this episode without my queen bee, you know, my queen, my wife, my best friend, my lover, my everything.
Well, that's one thing that I love about my husband is that not only did he learn to drive for me.
I need you to give wrapping up comments.
Wrapping up.
Yeah.
I have like 2 more stories.
No, we don't have time for 2 more stories.
Well, what you mean? Ain't this your shit? How you gonna say how much time we got? You can do however much time you want.
Let me tell you, that's the best part. We in the book. Wrap this shit up. Wrap it up. Go ahead.
You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna have to just come back again next week.
My wife is always never available to come back. I'm not. This is the first and last time. Well, this is the crazy part. A lot of you guys, when I do the poll, a lot of times I said, who do you want to see as the next guest? And this is who you guys want.
But I didn't even get a chance to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? You did I didn't. We gonna come back because I want don't just be bringing me on here to talk about my personal sex life. I want to be up and joking like all the other comedians get up there. Give me some real topics and all that. You didn't give me no real topics or nothing. We just talked about how you couldn't drive and how you was begging to get with me for 2 years. That's all we talked about.
Curious Red Flags podcast.
Red flag. I didn't get a chance to do the red flag.
Go ahead, do the red flag one time.
I have to do it naturally.
Do it naturally.
So, I'm just
Color
saying,
Purple is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Thank you.
I want you guys to stay tuned because we also have a new project that we are launching in 2021. It's going to be called.
Don't give them too much because somebody out there will take the name. But we have a show coming. For me and my lady.
Yes, we have a show coming where you'll be able to see both of us every week doing something very special and very funny. So look out for that. And just I just want to thank everybody for supporting my husband. And I just want to remind everybody that when you put good things in the universe, you know, it comes back on you. I stepped out on faith. I went with my heart. My husband and I developed a bond really, really early in our friendship, and I did not realize how unhappy I was in the relationship that I was in until he came along and he made me laugh and he was fun to be around and I loved his daughter and he loved my daughter and you know it was so many outside things that was telling me no, don't do it, you know, he not this and he not that, but I went with my heart and I have never ever been happier. I just thank God for blessing me with you and sending you to my life. So I just want to thank everybody for supporting him. Your continued support is much appreciated. All of you guys who've been listening, you know, week after week and supporting and cash apping, I just really, really appreciate it. And make sure you guys check out her information. Will be at the end of the page. Make sure you guys check out her page daily. For the ladies, she has a clothing line. Jackets, shirts. I'm not doing that right now because I don't have time for that. I don't know, fuck it. Make sure you guys follow
Carmen Comedy on Instagram. We have a project coming soon, and check out to see when you can find her on the road doing comedy.
Thank everybody, like I was saying, because he cut me off. But thank everybody for all your support. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Carthan, who I know are watching. They watch every week. They are the best in-laws I could ever ask for, and I love you guys. And shout out to my parents too, because they be watching sometimes. So hey, mommy.
Peace.
Can we end it with a kiss?
Ain't no